in listen-only mode.
Hello and welcome everyone to today's webinar with the topic Pursue a STEM Graduate Degree in Germany, featuring the Technical University Munich and the University Alliance Ruhr. Before we start with the presentation, let me introduce our speakers for today. So we have with us today Peter Rosenbaum, who's the Executive Director of the University Alliance Ruhr. He's located in the German house, not in the DAAD office, but he is just a few stories up the DAAD office in New York, and he's with the University Alliance Ruhr. And then we also have with us Dolores Volkert, who is the representative of the Technical University of Munich. And she is, as you can see from her email address, in the San Francisco office. And my name is Hanni Geist. I'm the DAAD representative in San Francisco. And I'm responsible for the Western region of the United States. You can see here our email addresses. So if at any point later you have questions, feel free to get in touch with us. So what is today's agenda? So this webinar, I'm going to just quickly mute. There we go. Today we have 30 minutes. We really just want to give you a brief overview of the universities and then give you a chance to ask questions. Really, if you have any questions right away, you can type them in the question box. I go over that here in a little bit. You basically, the intention of today is for you to get really brief snapshot of the Technical University of Munich and the University Alliance Ruhr with the universities, and you can ask questions later on, and of course get more information about the universities afterwards. So just to get a few housekeeping things out of the way, I'm recording the webinar. I will upload the webinar today, and I will send you a link in the follow-up email where you can find the recording. And along with that, I will also upload the presentations of today. Feel free to share that information with your peers later on as well. And as I said, please feel free to get in touch with us later on, but also use today the opportunity to ask all the questions. And so how we're going to do that, there are two ways for you to ask questions. The first one would be just to use the tool. As you can see here, there is a question box where you can type in your questions. This is how your tools box should look like. Here you can type in the questions, and later on we will have the opportunity for you to ask the questions live. If you would like to ask questions live, I would ask you to just quickly send the question and add at the beginning of it live, just so that I have a quick overview of who would like to ask the question directly to the presenters. We're currently don't share our camera with you, so you can't see us at the moment, just for you to really get a chance to focus on the presentations. But we will also turn on our cameras later on, so you can really have a conversation with us later on. Right now, you also have the option to download two handouts that the presenters send. So feel free to download them right away or download them later on. And so before we get into the actual presentation of the universities, I just wanted to quickly introduce to you DAAD. If you're not familiar with our organization, we have two offices in the US, in New York and San Francisco. We represent higher education in the US. You can see us at study abroad fairs and conferences and university visits. And we are available to answer general questions, but mostly what we're here for, which is maybe of interest to you also, if you would like to study in Germany at one of the universities, we offer scholarships and grants. And I don't want to use too much time today for that, but just for you to get a sense of what we have. We offer the study scholarship for students who would like to pursue a master's degree. It's available on all fields. Language requirements are not necessary. That really depends on the program. And you may apply in your senior year or up to 6 years after graduation. So that will be the study scholarship. You can find more information on the website displayed on the slide. And then the second scholarship, or grant, I should say, I briefly wanted to mention is the research grant, and that is available for you to do research at one of the universities or labs in Germany, really anywhere that makes sense to you. Or, and this may be of interest to you if you would like to pursue full PhD in Germany, you can actually apply for funding to pursue PhD in Germany. So that's all I wanted to share with you about that. Again, if you have any questions about the grants, feel free to get in touch with me. I would also invite you to follow us on our social media accounts. And with that, I would like to share Dolores' screen so that she can start with her presentation.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Hani, very much for your kind introduction, and of course for the opportunity to represent and present the Technical University of Munich here at this webinar. So let me begin. The Technical University of Munich is actually one of Europe's top universities. It is committed to excellence in research and teaching, interdisciplinary education, and the active promotion of promising young scientists. The university also forges strong links with companies and scientific institutions across the world. Ever since its founding in 1868, our university has been at the forefront of innovation. Scientists today have the same goal as their 19th century counterparts, and that is finding solutions to the major challenges facing society as we move forward. The university was founded to provide the state of Bavaria with a center of learning dedicated to the natural sciences. It has played a vital role in Europe's technological advancement and has the prestige of having produced a number of Nobel Prize winners. Actually, one of our alumni, Professor Joachim Frank, together with his colleagues Jacques Dubochet and Richard Henderson, was awarded the Nobel Prize for Chemistry today for their groundbreaking work on the development of cryo-electron microscopy. Being located in Munich, TUM is actually surrounded by a large number of prestigious research institutions like Fraunhofer or Helmholtz, as well as renowned companies like BMW, Siemens, or Airbus. The proximity is an important catalyst for collaborative research, as well as startups transforming research into added value. The Technical University of Munich actually spans 3 large sites in Bavaria, which is Munich, Garching, and Weinstefan. Our downtown campus, right in the center of Munich, in addition to the TUM Board of Management, actually is the base for our faculties, the civil, geo, and environmental engineering, architecture, electrical, and computer engineering, the TUM School of Management, TUM School of Education, and last but not least, the TUM School of Governance. Our Garching campus, north of Munich, constitutes the center of the natural sciences and technology at TUM. And with more than 12,000 students at 5 faculties, it is our largest TUM location. Garching also focuses on top-level research, and we have also located the TUM Institute for Advanced Studies, the TUM Graduate School, and the Munich School of Engineering. This campus is actually pretty easy to reach from downtown Munich. There's a subway line, the U6 or the Autobahn, and you can reach it within, let's say, 25 minutes. The TUM campus in Weihenstephan, our scientists there are engaged in interdisciplinary research in the life sciences. The campus is located on the outskirts of the old cathedral of Freising and has evolved from the traditional disciplines of agriculture and life sciences. With our TUM Olympic Park campus, this is actually the location where the sports facilities of the 1972 Olympic Summer Games are home to the sport and health sciences. And Munich's central organization for university sports is also based here. Let me also give you a few key data about TUM. TUM is clearly structured. It has 14 departments, and they provide an excellent environment for research and for education of about 40,000 students, from which 34% of them are women. As I already mentioned, TUM has 14 academic departments and also integrative research centers engaged in cutting-edge interdisciplinary research. The 7 corporate research centers you can actually see here. And we have also 4 integrative research centers, which I already mentioned: the Institute for Advanced Studies at the Munich School of Engineering, the Munich Center for Technology and Society, and the Munich School of Bioengineering. TUM also regularly scores very strongly in international rankings. In the latest academic ranking of world universities, for example, TUM was ranked place number 8 in the Global University Employability Ranking. In terms of internationalization, TU Munich also established 6 offices abroad, from which the office here in San Francisco is actually the youngest one. We have an office here, we have one in Sao Paulo, we have one in Brussels, in Cairo, in Mumbai, and in Beijing. And as the first German university in 2002, TU Munich also opened its own campus abroad, which is the TUM Asia campus in Singapore. In terms of providing master courses for students, the Technical University of Munich offers more than 172 degree programs in the natural sciences, engineering sciences, medicine, life sciences, and social sciences. Many of them, particularly at the master levels, are taught in English. So as you can see here, 30 master courses are taught in English, and 28 master courses are taught in English and German in science and engineering. On our website, you can actually find an overview of all of them. So usually the duration is 2 years, 4 semesters, and the administrative fee is about 130 euros per semester. Preconditions for applying to our master programs I listed here. I don't want to go into detail here, but if you have questions regarding the application process, please feel free to ask your questions after. Our international master courses in English I listed on this slide here. For example, we have sustainable resource management, nutrition and biomedicine, power engineering, communications engineering, or management. Other master courses that are taught in English and German are, for example, landscape architecture, electrical engineering, and information technology. I also wanted to give you a short overview about doctorate at TUM. Doctorate programs can vary widely in terms of the application process and the preconditions you must fulfill, but depending on the subject area and the environment, there are significant differences in terms of length and structure. However, two things are always required for a doctorate. First, a doctoral candidate must perform independent research. And the second requirement is that the doctorate must have the state of knowledge in the respective field. So the doctoral candidates usually develop the topic for their dissertation together with a supervisor who supports them in their academic work. In most fields of study, a doctorate takes 3 to 4 years, during which time candidates are involved in the academic work of the university and in public discussions with international experts. The Technical University of Munich offers the doctoral candidates an ideal environment for the research at its chairs, departments, and institutions, which I already mentioned before. And our TUM Graduate School, TUM GS, was founded in 2009 to promote the networking and further qualification of doctoral candidates. The traditional individual doctorate is based on a close collaboration between the doctoral candidate and his or her supervisor in the department or institution. Our TUM Graduate School supplements the proven individual doctorate with elements that support doctoral candidates and their supervisors. That includes structural measures and qualification, offerings based on the best international standards. For instance, the early conclusion of a supervision agreement, regular feedback meetings, subject-specific courses, as well as offerings for interdisciplinary qualification and financial support for research stays abroad. Last but not least, I wanted to give you an impression of one of our youngest programs we implemented at the university, which is the Practical Research Experience Program, our so-called PrEP. And with this program, we invite excellent students from North America to apply for a 10-week program that runs over the course of the summer. Participating in a research project under the supervision of a TUM faculty member, our PrEP participants will build up and further refine their research skills, learn more about the specifics of the German higher education and research landscape, and become members of the diverse scientific community at Germany's top-ranked technical university. TUM PrEP applicants demonstrate outstanding academic achievements, can easily adapt to new environments, and are driven by a general curiosity for science and research. And during their stay and beyond, program participants serve as ambassadors for their home institutions and for our university, respectively, and will contribute to the strengthening of international research network. Our international center at the TU Munich will arrange also accommodation for all program participants and award scholarships to students in need of financial support. There is an orientation event as well as cultural program that both will ensure that the program participants as well are well integrated into the local student body and will have a chance to immerse themselves in the unique culture and economic environment of Munich and Bavaria. So this was a short overview about the university. I hope I could give you as much as information within this short time frame. And yeah, I look forward to any questions you might have. And I thank you.
Thank you, Dolores. And this is a reminder for everyone. Please feel free to type in your questions as they come up, and then I'll take them to the Q&A at the very end. But you can already type in your questions. And so, without further ado, I'd like to invite Peter Rosenbaum to talk about the universities that are part of the University Alliance Ruhr.
Well, thank you very much, Hanni, for hosting us, and thank you, Dolores, for your presentation. Dolores mentioned a couple of facts about master's and graduate programs. I can skip over them. If you imagine yourself traveling now from Munich up north, it'll take you about 3 to 4 hours to the Ruhr area in Germany. The Ruhr area is it used to be Europe's kind of blue-collar heartland with coal mines and steel factories, and over the past decades has transitioned and become one of Germany's leading hotspots of science, research, and culture. It's a region, as I said, in the western part of Germany. It's, in fact, Europe's third largest metropolitan area with about 5.3 million people from more than 150 nations, many of whom, in fact, used to work in coal mines and steel factories and stayed in the area. So it's one of Germany's most multi-ethnic regions. And it's, of course, known for its soccer team. So if you're into soccer, you really got to go to the Ruhr area. It used to be, it actually was Europe's capital of culture in 2010. And the Ruhr area is very conveniently located in the heart of Europe, so you can easily jump on a high-speed train or get on a plane at the international airport in Düsseldorf and reach many other European cities such as Paris, Amsterdam, Berlin, and Brussels. Not that you ever want to leave the Ruhr area, but just in case you feel like venturing into other countries, it's very easy from Düsseldorf. Our University Alliance Ruhr has 3 universities that are part of this consortium: the University of Duisburg-Essen, the Ruhr University Bochum, and the Technical University Dortmund. If you take us together, we are one of Germany's biggest academic hubs with about 115,000 students, about 17% of whom are international students, 10 collaborative research centers, 570 degree programs, 62 international degree programs, and 17 joint graduate programs. And we also have 3 liaison offices, one in New York, one in Brazil, one in Moscow, to expand our network of international universities and institutions of about, we have about like 900 partnerships as of now. While all of our universities pretty much over every program of study, we have particular strengths in the STEM fields, such as biochemistry, biochemical engineering, as well as logistics, plasma science, neuroscience, nanoscience, and everything that's somewhat related to the Ruhr area, which you have to imagine is a little bit like Pittsburgh, with, lots of challenges that the area had to face in its transition from coal to high tech. So urban planning, regional planning, health science are particularly strong research areas in the Ruhr area. Why would you want to study at the University Alliance Ruhr, at either one of our 3 universities? In addition to high academic standards and an excellent reputation and the many programs, graduate programs in particular, that we offer in English, we work very closely with partners in the industry, in the region and beyond. So there is a very strong focus on practice, and that in turn results in outstanding employment opportunities for you. Why would you want to study in the Ruhr region? As I mentioned, it's Europe's third largest and most exciting metropolitan area with a vibrant art, music, and theater scene. I mentioned soccer. There is an excellent infrastructure that connects the three universities. They're really just 10 to 20 minutes apart from each other. And you easily get around by train and bus and any other kinds of transportation. In addition to that, it's actually a very affordable region to live in. Living expenses in Dortmund, one of the biggest cities in the Ruhr area, are about 650 euros, which is about $750, and that includes health insurance. Dolores mentioned a couple of more general facts about master's programs. They last about 4 semesters. For a PhD, you should it'll take you 3 to 5 years. At the University Alliance Ruhr, we offer programs both in German and English. And the semester usually starts in October, the winter semester, the summer semester in April. I'm not going to go through all of that, just to point out that as far as deadlines are concerned, the deadlines vary. So if you're interested in any particular program, you might want to go to the website of the international office at either one of our 3 universities and find out about deadlines. For example, if you want to apply at TU Dortmund University for the summer semester 2018, the application period starts on November 15 and lasts until January 15. I thought what I should do now is introduce you to a couple of programs that we have, just to kind of give you an idea of the variety of graduate programs in the STEM fields. One program is our Master of Science and Process Systems Engineering. It prepares students to work on the design and operation of complex chemical and biochemical production systems. There are special requirements for this master's program. You have a so-called prep semester with introductory courses to process systems, lab courses, etc. And then you spend 2 semesters taking specialized courses, and the 4th semester, which applies, by the way, to many, many other master's programs, you spend on writing a master's thesis. The semester fee at all of our universities are about 270 euros. That, by the way, includes a public transportation ticket that gets you from place A to B. And for this particular program, there is an additional semester fee of 480 euros. Another program that I want to introduce to you, I'm going to skip the Masters of Spatial Planning, is our International Masters of Science and Engineering offered by the University of Duisburg-Essen. This is an interesting program as it combines technology, engineering, and culture. The University of Duisburg-Essen has one of Germany's largest engineering schools and offers a variety of specializations within that program, including a master in automation and control engineering, communications engineering, etc. I listed not all of them, but again, Hani is going to upload both this presentation and our graduate programs brochure, and you will find all of these programs offered in English and in German and English in this brochure. For this particular program, you need to have a B1 level of fluency in both German and English, as courses are offered half in English, half in German. And you also have, as an additional feature, an industrial internship that is part of this program. Another program I want to mention real quickly is a PhD or a combined Bachelor of Science and PhD program in neuroscience offered by Ruhr University Bochum. This is this International Graduate School of Neuroscience offers a program in all aspects of neuroscience, from the molecular level all the way up to higher cognitive functions. To enter the PhD program, you need a master's or diploma in STEM, in a STEM field, and to enter the the Bachelor of Science program, combined PhD program, you need a bachelor in a STEM field, and you need to know English at the B2 level, which I'm sure for many of you is not an issue. It's a program that runs for about 6 semesters with obligatory courses, lab practice, and symposia. And again, the regular fee for the whole university, including the public transportation system, is about 270 euros. In case you're not sure about doing an entire graduate program with either one of our universities, you might be interested in checking out our international summer programs, one of which I mentioned here. It's the international summer program at TU Dortmund University with 2 tracks. It has an engineering track and a German European culture track. It's an 8-week program that runs typically from early June until August. You are taught in English. You also have to take a German language course. Included are cultural programs, excursions, and you can also pair up with a faculty member and work on a research project. So that's a pretty exciting opportunity for you to do your research, get to know the area, and maybe decide on a graduate program at the University Alliance Ruhr. I know I'm running out of time a little bit. What I do want to mention is one more a facility that we have at all 3 universities. It's our Research Academy Ruhr that provides young researchers and graduate students with career counseling, grant writing workshops, qualification programs, networking platforms. So it's kind of an academy that does everything for you except write your thesis. So it's something you might want to look into when deciding on a program. It's basically a platform that serves graduate students at all 3 of our universities. And with that, I want to thank you for your attention and hit me back with any questions. Thank you.
Perfect, thank you. So now's the time for you to actually ask questions, and for that part, we'll turn on our cameras so you can actually talk to us directly. Hello, everyone. Hello, Dolores. It's good to see you. So if, again, if you have questions that you would like to ask directly, if you want to ask those questions, feel free to let me know, and then I will unmute you so you can actually ask your question. Otherwise, I will read those questions off the screen, and then we'll ask the presenters to share their feedback. But before I want to come to your questions, I think I wanted to ask 2 follow-up questions, because I think they're actually quite relevant, and also for the attendees. And one question would be, for both of you, where are your alumni now? Do you know, maybe can you share a little bit of information of specifically students that are potentially from the US, or German students studying at your university that are currently in the US, where they are and what they do? Just a few examples. Maybe Peter, would you like to start?
Absolutely. It's basically, it kind of depends on the field, but we have a couple of American students who decided on a graduate program at one of our universities and then actually ended up working for a company in the Ruhr region. We just had a graduate from Harvard University who used to be a fellow at one of our universities, work for ESTAS, kind of a water resource management company. We have a lot of people from the STEM fields actually working at a leading company in the Ruhr area. The Ruhr area is home to companies such as BASF, Bayer, Siemens, Evonik, many others. So the companies in this area are really interested in highly qualified students and graduates. So you can either work there. Other folks work in academia. They pursue a research career, not just in Germany, but also back in the States or somewhere else. So kind of, if you study in the Ruhr area, you get immediately connected to global players in the chemical industry, for example, which makes it really interesting for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you. How about with the TUM alumni? I can see you, but I think you're muted at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sorry.
no, we can see you.
So with TUM, it's actually quite similar. And it really depends on the discipline you're studying at TUM. But since the Munich area has a lot of the big companies, and I already mentioned BMW, Siemens, Airbus, a lot of our students and graduates go to those big companies. A lot of our students are in research, actually, in academia after they graduated. And actually, TU Munich is also well known for the support of our startups coming from within the university. The university calls itself an entrepreneurial university, and that means that we support our students, but also our staff, to actually come out with technology ideas and to actually start a company with those ideas. So until now, we have about 800 startups founded from within the university, which is quite a lot. So a lot of our graduates also, start their own company. And,
Okay, great. So I actually, because we're past the time, but I'm thank you for staying with us, and also for the attendees. Thank you for staying with us. I wanted to ask at least a few of those questions. So one of the questions is if someone's graduating with a master's in May of 18, so this is specifically for the TU Munich prep program. Would the student be able to apply for the summer 2018 to continue right away, or would the student have to wait potentially a semester?
He or she could actually start right away. I mean, this year it was the first year that we had this kind of program, and we started at the end of May. So it really depends on the exact date, but I think that could be possible. And if there are more questions about prep, please feel free to get in touch via email after.
In general, for your master's and PhD programs, do they start only in the fall semester, or winter? In German, it'd be called the winter semester, or is it also possible for students to start in the summer semester, or does it really matter? Does it really depend on the program, and students will have to check your websites, Peter?
It pretty much depends on the program. We indeed have a couple of programs that start in the summer. Most programs start in the fall, and as far as, in October. And as far as PhD programs are concerned, unless you have a PhD program such as the one I just introduced in neuroscience, you can start a PhD program at any time. I mean, that really depends on when you get in touch with your advisor. If you're interested in a particular field of research, we'd be happy to make that connection. But I mean, again, if it's a more structured PhD program, it usually starts in the fall as well.
Yeah, it's similar at TU Munich.
And so another question, and I think that's this is specifically for the TUM prep program, but I think this is a general question. I think in regards to the GPA. This one person asks if the 3.0 GPA is over like a 4.0 GPA or a 4.3 GPA. I would assume that's a 4.0 GPA, right? The requirement. Okay. And I assume the better your GPA, the better your chances. Sometimes students potentially they are really good in what they do, and they're really motivated, but potentially because one course they didn't get a good grade, and as you know, sometimes that can really lower your GPA. Do you only look at the GPA, or are there other requirements like a motivational letter that sometimes if some student, for example, has a lower GPA, be able to make up for that, or is that kind of a strict rule that you have, and that's for both of you?
I mean, in terms of prep, or with regard to our prep program, it is a requirement we have on our flyer, and that's a formal requirement. But of course, if someone as you described the situation, ones really get into the program and has a specific knowledge, it's also about skills and specific knowledge already gained in the specific research field. There will be a need for a motivation letter, and so it's not only about the GPA. So we look into all the details.
Pretty much the same at our universities. We look at the whole person, motivational letter, references, but I also want to add that there are, for some programs, we have preparatory courses. I just mentioned one in process systems engineering. So if you don't have enough credits in one subject area, you can enter this prep program and then qualify for the graduate program. And for programs that are offered in German and English, half and half, you can, of course, also take an intensive language course at one of our 3 universities in the summer preceding the fall semester, and then enter the program with enough German knowledge. So that's possible as well.
And then I think a question that's very important for a lot of the graduates, like how easy is it for someone who has a degree from an American university to just transfer to either one of your universities, or and then do you know of is it easy for students? I mean, you mentioned that students they find careers either in Germany or in the US, but just to clarify that it's not a problem for students to study in Germany and then potentially go back to the US with a degree, and that it's actually recognized in the US or somewhere else in the world. If you could just elaborate on that a little bit, either one of you.
Dolores, you want to start?
Peter, go ahead, please.
Okay. Well, it always depends. I mean, as far as, the recognition of degrees are concerned, obviously all of our degrees are internationally recognized, and that applies to all of our universities, including Dolores's Technical University of Munich. When it comes to employability, that pretty much depends on the field. I mean, if you study biochemistry in Dortmund, you have a very high chance of getting employed by one of the leading companies in Dortmund and can then get transferred to a branch in North America, for example. That might look very different in a field such as humanities, English literature. When you study that at the Ruhr University of Bochum, great program, you might find it a little bit harder to land a job as an assistant professor at an American university. So, but in general, I would say folks who come over to Germany with the BA and are well qualified usually don't have any problem at all entering a graduate program at either one of our universities. We have a very strong support structure. We have the graduate school in the Ruhr area that I mentioned. We have a buddy system. We have a mentorship program. So even if you encounter difficulties, it's usually very easy to overcome them.
Great, thank you. Is there anything that you would like to add to Louis?
Yeah, I mean, in general, again, I think all the German universities are very well known internationally, and all the universities are known for excellent research and teaching. And to add a little bit on TU Munich, as I already said in my presentation, in the last international employability ranking, TU Munich was ranked 8 internationally. So that actually shows that we are well known, and that it shouldn't be a problem to go back to the United States, find a job there with a degree from the Technical University of Munich. And we also have career department, and they really do a great job in terms of supporting our graduates to find a job. The Munich region has the large companies, and they're not only based in Munich, they're located worldwide. So that is also something I would like to add. So there is no problem to find something after.
Okay. And before you graduate, you need to apply. And there is actually a question about the application process that I think is confusing to a few students, that some German universities, even for a master's or PhD program, they have to submit their high school diploma. Is that something that is true for both of, or the universities in the Ruhr area and also the Technical University of Munich, or is this something that just may be relevant for 1 or 2 programs, just so that students know what's required when they have to apply?
Well, as far as we are concerned, you need to indeed submit a school report, a high school diploma. We need a transcript of records, including a translation.
Yes.
And if you have graduated from a university with a BA, for example, we also need a graduation degree in the original language and a translation and a transcript. And for some programs, you also need to submit additional documents, but that's kind of the standard. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And in addition, sometimes you will also have an interview via Skype or sometimes even in person.
Right.
Okay. There's one specific question about the prep, about the eligibility requirements, that it's only for students from specific universities. Is that true, or is it open?
We just, as I said, it is a pilot project, or it was a pilot project this year, and we just started, and we just limited it for a couple of universities, but we have a list on the website what the universities are we actually collaborating with. But I think we want to open it more and more. But that really depends on the projects we have, and we can't actually foresee them until we actually got the programs or the projects from our professors. So we started with about 20. I think we have 25 to 30 for next year. And then, we will open it up more and more for other universities as well.
So it's always a good idea to check your respective websites for updates and also more information, of course, about the application process. And I assume the students are able to get in touch with you also if they have any follow-up questions.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I would like to thank you for your time. We went over the time, but it's late, so I thought that'd be good to allow them to ask those questions. Thank you for joining us today from New York, Peter Rosenbaum, and here just around the corner, Dolores Volkert in San Francisco. Thank you for everyone for attending today. Keep an eye out for any webinars in the future. I know we will have a general webinar with DAAD on just talking about application to German university in general. So maybe that's of interest to you, where you can ask a few more questions about the general application process. And again, if you have any specific questions, you can get in touch with our presenters. I think Peter Rosenbaum's camera just froze, but I hope you can still hear us. Again, thank you, Peter, and thank you, Dolores, for joining us today. And I hope you have a wonderful day, and also to our attendees, have a wonderful day, and I hope I see you soon in the future. Bye.
Thanks for having us. Thank you.